So at the moment, guys, as you know, I've got this bull bar on the 80 series, and the previous owner probably spent quite a bit of money on it. It's quite a nice bar. It's got your fog lights, your indicators. It's actually got a winch in it as well. Today, we're just going to be swapping out this bar for this one here. Yes, you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't look quite as nice. Looks a bit simpler. But that's actually what I'm going for here. I'm going for a more simplistic look. And the best part about it is, this bar here is actually suited to a 105 series. Now, for those of you who don't know what a 105 series is, I'll give you a quick lesson here. After the 80 series, Toyota released the 100 series landcruiser. The 100 series landcruiser was available in many countries. However, the 105 series landcruiser was available in mainly just Australia. Now, the difference here is the 100 series got rid of the front solid axle and was introduced with IFS, or independent front suspension. The 105 series kept that old school tough front solid axle. This was one of the last Land Cruisers to ever have the front solid axle. The bull bar on the 105 series is actually a direct fit onto an 80 series, as they share pretty much the same chassis. So the reason that I've got this 105 series bull bar is because not only does it fit perfectly, but it's also going to sit a little bit higher than a traditional 80 series bar. And I'll explain why I'd like it to sit higher in a sec. Now, due to the fact that this bar is going to sit a little bit higher, is exactly what I'm after. As you'll see here, we have a bit of clearance for the wheels, but in my opinion, these standard bars for 80 series just sit a little bit too low. It does look a bit grandpa, and I do just want the bar to sit a little bit higher. You'll notice some 80 series out there actually have a bull bar that comes up to the bottom here of the headlights. So it gives a lot more clearance under the wheels, and it just looks a lot nicer in my opinion. So this 105 series bar should sit a little bit higher than this one here and give it a meaner look. This bar here, just as a bit of an overview, it's got the lights in there as well as some LED indicators. It's also got a winch support just in there, so I'll be putting a winch in there. And it's also got some open vents here for the radiator, and if you've got an intercooler to cool the engine down a little bit. It's also got these nice wide open hoops, different to this one here. You've got that bar just covering that part there. First of all, I've just got to get this bar off, and then we can go from there. So the bar's off, it's looking pretty mean, pretty tough. Before we put the new bar on, I've just got to change the lights up. On the black 80 series, as you can see, it's got these pretty cool looking LED lights. They're aftermarket from eBay. I'll just give you a closer look. So the cool thing about them is they have like an indicator rectangle around them. It also has a daytime running light. And the lights themselves, the headlights and the high beams, are super bright because they're LEDs. I also do like the look of it. It just gives it more of an aggressive, futuristic look. So what I'm going to be doing now is quickly taking these ones out and putting them on the other 80 series. Harness kit here, it's literally plug and play, just attach it to the battery, and basically what it is, it's just two 80 amp relays, and I'm going to be using 4 of them, so 2 a side for each headlight. In order to create the daytime running lights around here in the rectangle shape, and also the indicator, the light comes with these 2 wires here. The green one's for the indicator and the red is for the parkers or daytime running lights. So all I've got to do is just get the signal from both the standard parker and also the indicator and wire that in. So I'll do that now, and then I'll chuck the looms in and get the headlights in. Alrighty guys, so got the wiring all done. Just as a quick update, so you've got these orange plugs here, which are the new ones from the loom. All 4 of them are wired up, ready to go. I've also got these hanging down, ready to go. This is for the parker and the indicator. That's just for those LED rectangles that I was talking about. Same thing on the other side. And then on both sides we've got our 80 amp relays, just like that, mounted securely. Don't move around at all. So let's get these lights in and see what they look like. Alrighty guys, onto the bar. So a few things need to happen to this bar before I put it on. First of all, I've got this winch here that I had on the black 80 series, and the clutch locking knob is going to be hard to get to if I don't cut a hole. If there's a hole here, as you can see, that's on the wrong side. This is going to have to go somewhere around there. So what I'll do is I'll temporarily fit this winch, get an idea of where I need to drill that hole. I'm also going to be cutting down on the sides a bit here. They're quite bulky, and I'm just going to be cutting a little bit off that just to make it blend in with the guard nicely. After that, I've got to paint the bar and we can put it on.
"20 minutes later."
All the cuts are done where I wanted them, but the bar is all ready to be painted. The preparation for the bar before painting is very important. You want to wash it first thoroughly with some sort of soap. I'm using dishwashing soap here, gets a lot of the grease and oil off. And I'm also applying a bit of rust converter just in case any spots that are bare metal rust through, or even some spots where I can't get to either with sanding or with cleaning. Just putting some rust converter on there can reassure you for the future. And just before spraying the Raptor, I wipe the whole bar with enamel thinners. This just gets all of the grease and oil off the bar in preparation for painting. Thinners really helps the paint to really stick to the bar as well. Now usually you would want to use a primer before applying the Raptor, but here I'm just using the enamel thinners and going straight on with the Raptor. Alrighty guys, so I've got here the Raptor coating. It's in a spray can. Usually you get in a litre tub and you screw on the nozzle and you basically use compressed air to spray it on. This here is just a smaller job, so don't need that much paint for it. I did do a bigger job however. If you notice in my first video, I painted a whole car, and I'll just show you quickly. So this is the texture of Raptor. It's a rough, almost sandpaper kind of texture. It does come up very nice, and it is tough as. If you're going full driving and you've got sticks around and you're going through this very tight area with lots of trees, you're guaranteed to save your paint just by having the Raptor coating. So the reason why I've chosen Raptor for the bull bar is just because it's going to protect the bull bar from any sort of scratches in the future, and should hopefully protect it from rust in the future as well. So let's spray this bar now and get it on the car. How is she looking, guys? So tough, loving it. So as you can see, the bar does sit higher, almost at the level of the bottom of the lights. It's going to give me a better approach angle. You can see more of the wheels and the dog. I'll do a before and after photo just here of the difference between these two bars. It's just amazing. You can see the lights as well. Got those nice LED lights, and I'll be showing you what they look like when it gets darker. And I've got these lights in the side as well. I also put a light bar in there just for a little bit of extra light. I'm not after heaps of light. These LED headlights put out a fair amount of light anyway, so I don't need to worry too much about light accessories. I will in future be getting a rooftop tent and some lights on the front of that, so that's going to give it some extra light again. Got the winch in there as well. It's a 12,000 pound winch, so it should do quite the job. And you'll also notice on the side here that nice cut. Instead of the bar coming straight out and then up, I've just cut it on an angle there to kind of blend into the wheel arch a bit. Looking pretty good. Up next on this episode, I'm just going to be fitting these side rails. This is going to be a bit of a mission, simply because these side rails and side steps are not actually made for an 80 series. So I've basically bought them off of a guy who had them on his full drive, very cheap, and I thought, you know what, I can make this work. So the mounting arms at the moment actually line up with the radius arm and trailing arm mounts. So I'm going to have to cut them off and move them in slightly on both front and rear. Lots of welding, lots of cutting tomorrow, but as always on Rig It Up we make it work. The recovery points were originally yellow, but I thought they didn't really go with anything, so I decided to color code them with the springs, which I think looks pretty cool. I'll put these lights on during the day just so you can get an idea, and then I'll flick to a nighttime shot. Alrighty guys, it is a new day, bright and early, quite frosty as you can see. So I've gotten up extra early. It's forecast to rain later today, so just going to smash out these side steps, get them off, cut up the new ones and weld them up. Just an update on these side rails. A fair bit of welding and cutting was necessary, but they're on, or at least the left side's on. Sitting pretty level. The U-bolts underneath are basically what's holding this up. Have a look under here. It's got a U-bolt through that bracket there, and another U-bolt through that bracket there. Happy with where it sits as well, the level. Pretty straight. Comes over the wheel arch and clamps onto the bull bar like that. So just going to do the other side now, and then I'll bring you guys back once we're painting. Alrighty guys, so I've got here Raptor liner. This time I've gone for a few more litres than before, just because on these side steps I'm going to be going a little bit thicker. They are side steps, so you're going to be using them to stand on, and I just want to have a thick enough coat to last a long time. So just a simple quick tutorial for you. It comes with this hardener. This is the magic syrup for the paint. Once you put this in the paint, even if it's not exposed to air, it's going to get hard. So I wouldn't recommend leaving the bottle sit for a while after you put the hardener in, because it will go hard. They give you a fill line. You basically get the hardener in up to that line. You pour it into the Raptor, and then you give it a good old shake. I would also recommend buying this nozzle here for the air gun. It just makes it a lot faster, and it also is good for an even coat. Keep in mind the air compressor you have has to have a certain amount of pressure, just so you can get that nice even coat. So it's designed in a way to thread onto the nozzle, just like that. Now another tip I'd give you, the nozzle has a hole in it, so you want to be careful not to tilt the bottle too much, because it'll pour out. Alright, let's get painting. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for watching my video today. A lot of work has gone into this episode. As you can see, you know, I was in the rain, working hard, trying to get it done for this week. So please subscribe, I do appreciate it. The car's looking absolutely awesome. No longer grandpa spec. The bar's how I want it, the side rails are how I want it, and I couldn't be happier. So keep watching for more videos. Once again, subscribe. There's going to be more happening to the top of the car coming up next episode.